Hey, Slash 80 Buckaroos, how the heck are you? As we welcome the new year, we'll see what 2025 brings. Personally, 2024 wasn't bad. I mean, I had some good things happen, so I can't complain too much. I've got this is one that I picked up on vacation last year from Dark Horse Brewing. It is their Plead the Fifth Russian Imperial Stout. I don't have great lighting here, so I can read this. It's 11%, 41 IBUs. Pitch black in color with a faint tan head that immediately identifies that the beer is big. Aromas of dark fruits, chocolate, caramel, and roast also make it even bigger. Roasted coffee aroma and fruity chocolate notes are just the beginning of this stout's complex flavor. Pairs well with spicy food, pungent cheese, and justice for all. There we go. Plead the Fifth. I am going to pair this with a couple different whiskeys here that I had poured to do a previous video. Sláinte. Oh, wow. Big dark chocolate on the nose. It's the first thing I noticed. Certainly some dark roast coffee-like aromas as well. But the big dark malted chocolate was the first thing that hit me. Big, beautiful, decadent beer at 11%. Oh, yeah, that's gorgeous. So what I had poured here to do a couple videos, I had two honey barrel bourbons from two different distilleries. One from Ardent Spirits out of Collinsville, Illinois. The other one from Echo Spirits out of Columbus, Ohio. The Ardent is at 114 proof. The Echo honey barrel is at 109 and change. I'm going to pick up that Ardent. I'm going to pair it with this beer first. Using my Ardent glass here, as you can see. I had the music on. I paused it to start the video, and the Atlanta Rhythm section song Champagne Jam was on. Now I got that running through my head. We're gonna have us a champagne jam. A great New Year's Eve song, I always thought. It's a part of my New Year's Eve mix. Mix of upbeat and happy tunes and drinking tunes. I did work New Year's Eve. But it was only about a 7-hour shift. It's a big night, though, man. The idea was to open early and close early. Give folks a chance that want to come out early but don't want to be out late. Give them a chance to get out and, meet with some friends. And Banter is not your typical brewery. It's more like a little community, right? These folks come together from different socioeconomic backgrounds, different political arenas, but somehow when they walk in that building, they all find a way to get along. Even though their backgrounds are vastly different. Banter is one of these oddities, I guess. I've been going to breweries since, the beginning of them. And I've never been to one quite like this. I've been to breweries where you can make a lot of friends, but they're always more cliquish, right? You got this group here, this group here. You got the group that comes in during the day. You got the group that comes in at night. And I do have some of that at Banter, but there's always that mix. At some point, the earlier crowd is going to mix with the later crowd. And this was one of those events where everybody just kind of gets together. It's really nice to see. It's even better to be a part of. I really enjoy being a part of it. Oh, that whiskey is nice. So even though I was working, I was still hanging out with my friends, so I can't complain about a thing. Although I was sore, and I was hurting, man. me set that down. I'm going to take a drink of this beer and see how they work off each other now. See what differences I can taste. Big dark roasted malts. They mentioned some dark fruits. I don't know that I'm feeling that right away. I'm going to have to wait and see. I am feeling definitely the chocolate. I get a big dark chocolate. They mentioned caramel and roast. You get that there's definitely big roasted malt notes. Caramel, yeah, why not? You're certainly going to find some vanilla in there. But that whiskey may be helping bringing out some of the sweetness as well. This nice, beautiful honey barrel whiskey from Ardent Spirits. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery. Oh, man, that is just nice. That whiskey is just so good. I didn't drink a whole lot on New Year's Eve because, well, I worked. It was about... It's probably close to 8:30 by the time I got home for getting everything cleaned up. And I decided I was going to have... I bought some big beers while I was in Ohio. One was Jackie O's Southern Cuvée. I bought two, 1 and 15. Decided to pop 1 and 15. Because they used a honey Imperial Stout or a honey barley one. I can't remember which. So I wanted to open my other honey barrel whiskey that I hadn't opened yet. But between that 14.7% beer, that 109 proof whiskey, that pretty much did me in. Since it was after 9 before I even got started. I didn't make it till midnight though, but actually only had the one beer. Like I said, at 14%, it was all you needed. 14.7, I should say. So now that the holidays are past us, we made it through Thanksgiving, we made it through Christmas, Festivus, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. I had one friend on Facebook, one of those militant, war on Christmas folks. Who posted Merry Christmas, but it wasn't Christmas yet. It was a couple days before Christmas. So it was like the 23rd. So I said, Happy Festivus. And he got mad about that. So he posted Merry Christmas again. So I said, Happy Kwanzaa. And then he blocked me. I was going to tell him Merry Christmas on Christmas Day. I don't know why some folks have a hard time wrapping their head around the fact that there are other holidays. That, yes, we have the right to say Merry Christmas. They have the right to say whatever else they want to say. And nobody is getting slighted. There is no war on Christmas. You are not being oppressed. You're just being an asshat. Everybody that wants to celebrate Christmas, including myself, is free to do so. Or if somebody else celebrates something else, you're not being slighted if they say Happy Holidays. I just can't understand why that's an issue with some. It just doesn't make sense. Oh. This whiskey is absolutely gorgeous. Very subtle honey. A little bit sweet up front, but not overly so. Definitely a lot of oak and spice in the finish. There's a whole lot of things you may be picking up in the middle there. You may be even picking up some fruit notes. Definitely a lot of vanilla. I don't know the age on that particular whiskey. They don't list it. But it's also, it seems like it's bringing out more of the big chocolate notes. Every time I take a drink of the whiskey, then take a drink of the beer, I feel the chocolate even more so. That's gorgeous. Anyway, that's just beautiful, man. I don't care who you are. That's just tasty. Let me finish up this whiskey here. Just finished lunch. There was a lot of food I had planned for New Year's Eve, but then had that planned before I was working. So by the time I got home last night, wife and I were both very tired, so just made us a sandwich and called it. But then I had all this other stuff that I needed to fix, so I had some lobster meat, so I just kind of steamed it up. And the idea was the Connecticut style lobster roll. I'm doing a riff on that, so I did not having the buns. What I did was take some Italian bread and grill it, and then have that heavily buttered lobster, kind of served open face on the bread, and that was really nice. The first time I had that Connecticut style roll though was when we were on vacation. We were at the food hall in Dublin, Ohio, a little bit north of Columbus. Oh, man. That's just beautiful, man. That's just good, man. Wow. At 114, I can't believe how easy that whiskey it is to drink. It is absolutely amazing. They're only about 3.5 hours, and it always seems like it's hard to get there. It's the first time I've been there, but I mean, even going to St. Louis, it always seems like it's hard, even though it's really only 3 hours and change. It's 3.5 hours on the nose to get to the Old Harold Brewery and Distillery. So I'm gonna have to try to plan a way to get back out there because I really loved the beer was great that I had there. But this whiskey is just insanely good. So let me finish it up. And pair it with this beer one more time. Then I'm going to go to the next one. Figured rather than switch out back and forth, I'd concentrate on the one, see how it affected the flavor, then go to the next one. But yes, that's what I'm noticing the most. It really, I'm really focused on those chocolate notes. Every time I take a drink of that whiskey, and then the beer, the chocolate seems even bigger. So now I'm having the honey barrel. You'll notice the label being a little odd here because this is one of those they let you fill yourself. So they were doing a thing that day later in the day than I was there. But because I was on vacation, we'd been talking a while. He said, we do this thing. It's $80. You get the full tour, this and that and the other. And then you fill your own bottle. But since you're not going to be here for that, if you want to just fill the bottle, I'm just going to charge you for the whiskey. Which was, it was about $65. But it's a cask. 109 and change proof. I thought, and it was on vacation. Oh, yeah, okay, I'll do it. So he actually filmed me filling my own bottles. I wish I could remember his name, but I cannot. The bartender there was great too that day. Anyway, I wish I would have. The only thing I wish I would have did different was not fill out the tasting notes until I got it home and then taste it once I got the bottle open because I kind of made some quick notes. But this is only after having maybe about a half ounce of the whiskey, so it really wasn't. I was just kind of writing stuff down at that point. But anyway, it is the facts of the whiskey are it's at 109.6. It's 3 years, 7 months. And Echo Spirits out of Columbus, Ohio is really doing some great stuff. I finished off their maple finished rye whiskey, which is aged no less than 3, it says. And it's at cask at 121. And it is just insanely good, man. So when I did a side by side with these whiskeys, I noticed that the Echo was a little more bold, a little more brash, where the Ardent was a little more subtle. Now, I'm not saying one way is better than the other. I'm just telling you those differences. And I say that because the bold nature of this bourbon, it may affect the beer differently than the other one did, which is why I bring that up. But I also planned on steaming up some crab legs last night. I had some Dungeness crab legs, so I planned on cooking them, which we didn't. So I really got to cook them today. So we're going to have them for dinner. This was just a package of what I fixed for lunch was just a package of lobster meat. It was claw knuckle meat, which is great for that lobster roll kind of thing. But I didn't want to do the New England style with the mayo and when we had that Connecticut style up in Dublin, Ohio, we really liked it, which is the nice butter. We had some good butter here. I usually use Irish butter, but my wife had picked up some New Zealand butter. It has about the same butter fat. It really was just as good. So yeah, I kind of clarified that, and then we grilled the bread, and I brushed some over the bread, and I put the lobster on, and I brushed some over the lobster. And with the crab legs, we're not. Yeah, I'm just going to put them on a plate. Give us a little bowl of butter. What I like to do is just open every crab leg I have on my plate and stuff it all in that butter. Just let it sit there. Just let it all soak up all that butter, and then you pick up a piece and it's scorched in your mouth like a piece of freshened up gum. Just squirts that butter. Oh man. But you got to use good butter. You really do. I love Irish butter. But this New Zealand butter my wife picked up, I really feel is just as good. We tried some Vermont butter around Thanksgiving, and it was good, but it was a little saltier. The butterfat content was about the same, but it felt a lot saltier than we like particularly. I want the salted butter for this application, but I don't want it really salty. So this particular honey barrel bourbon, I should say, the flavors are big and bold. I get a lot of, I certainly feel that honey, but I also feel like I'm picking up some molasses notes, some almost like a peanut brittle like note as well. A lot of big spice in the finish. Definitely, the usual suspect is usually cinnamon and or allspice, but also feel like you might find some clove, some ginger, even just a hint of white pepper right on the back end. So I'm going to take a drink of, actually I'm going to, since I talked a lot there, I'm going to take a drink of whiskey, then pick up the beer. Oh, wow, that's interesting. That really is, wow, that is interesting. So I did mention that I felt that the Echo was a little bolder and would affect the taste differently. Every time I took a drink of the Buzzworthy, the Ardent, the Buzzworthy, and then the beer, the chocolate notes became bigger. Every time I kept, more chocolate, more dark chocolate, bigger dark chocolate. However, I'm going to take another drink and keep talking. When I took that first drink of this whiskey and then the beer, the coffee notes really came to the forefront. And I wasn't necessarily expecting that. I figured the chocolate was dominant until I took that taste in this. So, now I'm getting coffee. Before I was getting all chocolate, now I'm getting all coffee. Yeah, I'll be damned. I'll be jiggered, baby. Yeah, wow. These big espresso-like notes, really. I mean, that's really interesting because I would take like I said, take the drink of the other whiskey. I really felt those chocolate notes come up front, and now I'm feeling the coffee in a great big way. which I could taste before, but it felt like a secondary player. But now, when I take a drink following the other whiskey, it really brings out those coffee notes more. Huh. Huh. I don't know the science behind it. I'm just telling you what I'm getting. I still can't get the song Champagne Jam out of my head. We're gonna have us a champagne jam. Anyway. Maybe it's the beer starting to get to me, or the whiskey or something. Yeah, I did the video with the two whiskeys, and I took a little pause for the cause and made lunch, and then I said, well, let's do this one now, because I was kind of curious. I've been clearing out my beer fridge stuff, stuff that I picked up for vacation. I brought several in for folks to share last night for New Year's Eve. 17 beers in total. I just, got out of the beer fridge, and I still got plenty of beer in there. I'm not running low by any means. But I bought a lot of IPAs that I really needed to go. And I've got a couple friends in there that really like the big double IPAs like I do. All right, let me finish off this whiskey. Let me show you this bottle. Echo Spirits out of Columbus, Ohio. I think they have other locations, but that's where I picked it up. I am a big fan, though. I got to tell you, the products are great. The two products that I bought were absolutely awesome. But even more so, I mean, the bartender was friendly, informative, and then she introduced me to somebody else that worked there that does the tours and things, and he, explained to me about the fill your own bottle thing. He says, and allowing me to do that because I already had the tour filled, I guess. So, and it was going to be later that I was going to be there anyway. But he said, but we can do this. It's okay. And so I really appreciated that. I love customer service. Mercy. So anyway, let me show you the Ardent bottle one more time, too. If you get a chance, please visit Old Herald Brewery and Distillery in Collinsville, Illinois. Let me show you that bottle. The home of Ardent Spirits. That Buzzworthy is just insanely good. And then Echo, I already told you, out of Columbus, Ohio. I certainly recommend both extremely highly. That was bad. No, you read those adjectives together. Let's see, they were both... I had fun at both, okay? I recommend both of them as highly as I possibly can. Maybe you've had enough, Tom. I'm Tom, the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and... Man, that is delicious. Man, that's killing me how that works. Yeah, I mean, every time I took a drink of the Buzzworthy and then the beer, I get the chocolate just really ramped up. And then when I have the other one, the Echo, all I feel is the coffee. So there you go. Anyway, I am Tom, the Beer Whisperer, Beer Evangelist, prolific drinker, purveyor of wisdom, man. Cheese, biscuits, and gravy. All right, good guys. Lunch here.